Hey Sagittarius, this is Alexander Creek. Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of August 2022. Let's get into it because it's a pretty busy month. So we have the beginning of the month is like a very rare astrological alignment, and it's happening in your health and work sector. So you have had a lot of activity with the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio and the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio in your health and work sector, along with your rest and mental health sector. So you have the North Node, which is this. It's wow, I cannot talk. The North Node, which is it's the sort of point of fate in your chart, has to do with the orbit of the moon, and it talks about new beginnings, new directions, new growth. That is in your sixth house, and really since I feel like the spring, that area of your life maybe has seen some changes or new beginnings, or just even possibly endings if it's not meant for you. And you have the South Node in Scorpio in your 12th house. So there's some releasing of what you don't need from your psyche, your subconscious, and really maybe encountering old beliefs or anxieties or something like that. Or also encountering a balance between work and rest, or health and rest, going back and forth between your 6th and your 12th houses. So this conjunction is Mars, the planet of action and energy, which is in Taurus right now. Wow, I cannot talk. I've done a lot of these videos today. Can you tell? So Mars will conjunct Uranus, the great awakener. Sudden, shocking kind of energy, along with North Node, that point of fate in your 6th house. So I feel like there's new developments for you either in your work life, in work, job, your daily grind as well. Or it could be a bodily health matter, or it could be something related to pets as well, because pets and animals falls in that 6th house. It's likely to be probably a health or work though. So you have major shocking or out of left field kind of exciting energy happening for you around July 31st and August 1st in that area of your chart. The whole collective is going to kind of feel the shocking kind of new beginning, energy happening. And for you, that's happening in your work and health sector. So it could be that you're right now that you're embracing some sort of new direction, or that you're thinking about something different. And around this time, I would just pay attention to kind of what happens, because the North Node, it kind of brings in this sort of faded feeling. Mars kind of energizes what it touches, and Uranus is great awakening. It's sudden shifts. So this could definitely feel out of left field, or this energy is already happening, and this is kind of a culmination of it, or a culmination of it, or around this time. So keep an eye out for that, but you've likely been feeling some change in that area since at least this spring, because we've had 2 eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio through April and May. So keep an eye on that, but definitely embrace it if there is some sort of new beginning, because it's a faded kind of new beginning. So I'm always paranoid my microphone turns off, and I'm so anyway. So August 11th, we have Venus, the planet of love, relationships, pleasure, beauty, harmony, and money, entering Leo for the rest of the month. So it's going to go into your 9th house. So it's going to bring some pleasure, some harmony, maybe some opportunity in things like higher education, your beliefs, your spirituality. Could be related to maybe you just feel like taking, I don't know, if you're taking a course or something, it's you have some more harmony in that, or anything where you're learning or studying. This also brings pleasure to things like long distance travel as well, because this 9th house is places that are really unfamiliar to you, long distance travel, foreign travel, things like that, or any sort of publishing or broadcasting venture as well. There's a serious feeling, though, with Venus and Leo, because she's opposing Saturn, the planet of discipline, boundaries, and lessons, and commitment in your 3rd house. Saturn has been in your 3rd house of communication since the end of 2020. So you could be really working on communicating with authority, or that you are maybe really focused on courses or certifications or courses of study, or some sort of communications project, or anything relating to your local neighborhood or community. Or the third house also relates to siblings and like extended family. So it could be sort of taking more commitment or something in that area of your life as well. But it feels like you're really, there's some focus on communications projects or beliefs with Venus going into Leo. Saturn will be, by the way, in your third house for until March 2023, and it wraps up and it moves into Pisces. So, okay, August 20th, we have Mars, the planet of action, of energy, conflict, and war, going into your partnership sector. So, Mars usually spends about 2 months in a given sign. It's going to go into Gemini for 9 frickin' months. So, because I think, yeah, so September, October, yeah, about 9, whatever. It's going to be there until March. I don't know if that's 9 months or not. It's a long time. So it's going to be there until about mid-March. Okay, it's actually 7 months. So it's until about mid-March. I had to do some counting. I was like, wait a minute, I've been saying 9 months. It's actually not true. But still, that's a very significant period of time for Mars to be in one sign. So Mars will be going into your partnership sector. So Mars transiting through your chart can talk about where you're motivated to take action, where you have more energy for things, where you're going after things, where you're fighting for things. So this is there's a lot of action in your partnership sector for much of the year, and this could also, this could be, hey, I'm like really looking to like get out there and like mingle with people. But it could also be, let's say that you're separating from let's say that you are planning on separating from like a partner or something, like, because Mars cuts and separates. And it's also about where you have conflict. So you're just more likely to be, I feel like, to speak your mind or to communicate your needs, and to really, if you are not a person that is likely to sort of, to strongly say how you feel, or to cut ties with someone, Mars and Gemini may help you do that if you need to. But keep in mind too, this can also just mark a little bit more increased conflict in relationships and things like that. This doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It's business partnerships. It's partnerships of all kinds, including legal partnerships. So this could also, so just note that this could be motivation, action, energy to enter into partnerships, but it could also be very much like, oh, if there's a partnership in your life that's not working for you, Mars and Gemini may help you get out of it, essentially. But I would just say, just be wary if you are someone who tends to really go off. Like, Mars and Gemini could just kind of take it up to another notch. So just, I would take kind of caution when it comes to arguments and debates and things like that, because we're all likely, the collective is likely to have more there's more argumentative energy, but there's also more of an energy that's just willing to talk about things and like get things out in the open. But you just kind of want to manage Mars while it is in Gemini. So I will say the last thing too, Mars and Gemini is multiples. Gemini's multiples. This could also just be seeing multiple people. I will say too. There's not going to be conflict there too. But I will say this is also maybe seeing multiple people too. So it could be both. So anyway, a lot of activity in your partnership sector over the next several months. And we'll talk about, I'm sure, Mars and Gemini more with these forecasts. So August 24th, Uranus is going to station retrograde. So around the 24th, 25th, you might feel like a shift in the force, and really reflecting and reviewing like shifts that have occurred in your work sector, in your health sector, maybe thinking about, do I need to make more changes? Am I comfortable with this, or I need to look at something else? That kind of energy. Uranus is going to be retrograde for the next several months, but really when it stations is when you can feel it the most. Lastly, we have a new moon in Virgo in your 10th house on August 27th. So new moon is like a reset, a new beginning, a new cycle. This is going to be in your career sector. So you could really be planting seeds for the future, setting new goals, having your sights on something new, or there could be potentially be something new coming in with your career or with authority figures. The 10th house is also your public status and reputation. So it could be that your public status and reputation is changing, or like the way people view you in the world is changing around this time. But a new moon, this one feels pretty energetic, I will say too. It feels pretty energetic, feels pretty like I'm going to get what I want kind of energy. This new moon is square Mars in Gemini, so there could be some conflict, perhaps in relationships, either between career and relationships. There's just some sort of interplay between those two things. I will say there's more there's more potential for interpersonal conflict or spicy communication with partners, of relationships in your life around this time. But this does feel a pretty motivated new moon for you to go after your goals as well. So, anywho, that's your forecast for the month. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you do. I'll be doing these every month. And comment below. Let me know, how. Let me know how. Wow, I cannot talk. I cannot talk at all. Let me know how things are going for you and kind of where you can feel these changes. Lastly, I have a Patreon starting this month as well. So starting August 1st, I'm going to have weekly forecast guidance on my Patreon, like the weekly astrological weather. I'm also going to be doing 2 live streams a month, one for the new moon, one for the full moon. And we'll dive into your birth chart and talk about how it's, you can ask me questions about your chart. We'll talk about it. You can learn astrology that way. And lastly, I am doing personalized monthly forecasts sent to you every month in your inbox on the last tier on my Patreon as well. So check that out if you're interested. The link for that is in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.